So welcome to everyone to the session on IPSOC USA. The goal of this meeting is for me to explain a little bit about securing devices or embedded systems and the lifecycle management across for different players in the market. So a little bit about myself. I'm Karthik. Pursued my master's education in National University of Singapore. I've been with Secure-IC for about 4 years now. Worked on the R&D of security IPs, and now I lead the field application engineering team as well as project management for the North America region. So happy to be here with you. So that's the agenda for today. We start with the introduction to Secure IC technologies, and then we provide context and challenges in securing the life cycle of devices. Then we speak about managing cybersecurity challenges during the entire life cycle and how Secure IC solutions can help. And of course, we conclude at the end. So who we are Secure IC, and we believe in the concept of chip to cloud security. We are really one-stop shop solution when it comes to embedded security. We do everything from hardware crypto IPs to the root of trust solution, all the way to the server to securely manage devices. So end-to-end cybersecurity and really a complete portfolio in terms of security IPs in the market. A little bit about where we started and where we are today. We started in 2010, and today we celebrated 15 years of Secure IC in February 2025, and also we will soon be a Cadence company in a few months. More than 1 billion 1 million IPs deployed in chips worldwide, 9 locations, 150 plus people, 400 projects, and at the core of it, we are a science company, right? We do a lot of scientific work, 250 plus patents, 300 plus publications. So that's a little bit about who we are. We've acquired along the way a number of companies like Silex and eShard, and yes, that's who we are. In terms of where our presence is in the world, our HQ is in France, in Rennes and Paris, and we have entities around the world. In the US, we're based out of San Mateo, and yes, we have R&D facilities in Singapore, China, Japan, etc. So here's a slide to detail a little bit about the different product lines that we have. Okay, so Securizer speaks about the hardware IPs that we have in terms of standalone crypto IPs, crypto subsystems to the entire root of trust. Then we have the Laborizer platform that speaks about the pre-silicon, post-silicon, and code analysis, and we license this to customers, or we take the customer's product and we are able to analyze the IPs or the solutions on their behalf. And then we have the Expertizer solution. We can do evaluation as a service. We can do certification as a service to help customers achieve different security certification. Okay. And the certification as a service, for example, is where we act as the middleman between the company, between the customer, as well as the certifying lab. So that's the three business lines. So as you see, hardware IPs that comes with software that helps you develop solutions that are secure by design. Then you have Laborizer to test your solutions, and you have Expertizer to help you go to certification, help you make sure that you're covered on the consulting front. So in terms of context and challenges, in the world of chip design, as you see, there are different players. You have chip makers, you have OEM, you have third-party companies, and different stages really. So from chip design to decommissioning, and what are the issues that we see? All of these parties are quite fragmented in the sense that each one is doing their own thing, and that is a threat in terms of security, right? So what are the different challenges we face? We might face intellectual property laws, device compromission, You might face zero-day attacks, vulnerabilities. You might have active or passive attacks during different stages, mostly in field, and someone can even tamper with your secrets. So these are some of the threats that we will face at different stages of this chain. So in terms of standards and regulations, as you see, we are starting to see a lot of standards and regulations across the world, not only in the cybersecurity space of silicon, but also in food industry, just as an example. So in the US, we have the IoT Cybersecurity Improvement Act by the government. From the US Food and Drug Agency, you have cybersecurity guidance documents. You have critical infrastructure protection for critical infrastructure. NIST as well is pushing for standards, and the rest of the world, the most famous ones, you have the Cyber Resilience Act from Europe, the UNECE regulation number 155 from UN, and so on. So the goal here is to show you that it's not just the demand of the industry, but also from the administrative side, there is pressure for us to act and pressure for us to secure the different stages of silicon development from a cybersecurity standpoint. Okay. So cybersecurity regulations and the requirement is detailed in this slide. Okay, what are we trying to do? We're trying to protect the IP, the data protection and privacy. So this can be everything from data at rest, data in transit. All of this data needs to be protected. What data are we speaking about? Everything from user credentials to secure data. For example, if you have government related information or if you have patients for the hospitals, all of this contain security information, secure data, and you want this data to be protected from the source until the end user, right? Then you need secure software development and updates, both from companies that are developing these solutions all the way to companies that are using these solutions. So the entire system has to be, secure software development and updates need to be carried out by the entire ecosystem. Risk-based security approach, then vulnerability management and disclosure. If your device on the field for some reason detected for different vulnerabilities, then it's not just about detecting them, but you also need to fix them, and you need to have a system in place to do that. PERT is a good example, so I will cover that in my coming slides. Security monitoring and incident response. So that's what I mentioned. So vulnerability management, security monitoring go quite hand in hand. So in terms of managing cybersecurity challenges during the entire life cycle, okay. The last slide, I detailed the different requirements, for example, risk-based security approach, and so on. And here is a slide to show you what can be done at different, for the different requirements in order to make it secure. So for example, for risk-based security approach, you want security by default. What does that mean? You want IPs to be embedded into your chips right from the design phase, and that makes it secure by default, right? So you can implement security at different phases of the silicon development, but the earlier you do it, the better it is. So you start with secure design, then you start with secure development, you start with secure software, and so you're able to really work on security end to end. Okay. So risk-based security approach also contains PERT. PERT is the incident response that we spoke about. At Secure-IC, we have a system in place in order to report for any vulnerabilities on the field and any patches that need to be delivered after. So in terms of IP, data protection and privacy, secure boot, which is achieved through the root of trust that is inside your silicon, secure provisioning. I will present to you in the next slide, server solution that can be used to securely provision your devices. And by secure provisioning, I mean authentication and signing your assets. And then SCA and FIA protection. So side channel and fault injection protection are required on your silicon in order to protect this device from attackers trying to extract content, for example, secure keys. Okay, Secure software development and updates. Again, security by default and secure upgrade are the concepts that we focus on. This need security monitoring and incident response. So we have what we call the intrusion detection system that actively yes, monitors the memory, the CAN bus, Ethernet bus on the chip, and is able to predict what kind of behavior is expected from the hardware, and accordingly takes provides information to the server, and you accordingly decide what your next steps must be in case the chip is under attack. Okay, and then secure diagnostic. These go hand in hand. Then in terms of vulnerability management and disclosure, so preset I spoke about. You also have IDS, which we spoke about, and secure diagnostic. So that's a little bit about what we are trying to achieve. Okay, so here are different players at the top. You have the chip design phase, you have the chip manufacturing phase, device assembly, onboarding, in-field, and end of life. And on top of that, you have the different players who are involved at different stages. And here we go from left to right and showcase how we can secure these different stages of chip development. Okay. So at the chip design phase, as I mentioned, the goal is to have your root of trust embedded into your silicon. Okay, integrated. That's point number one. That's detailed on the right. So you integrate a root of trust in your SoC design. Then you manage the assets through this remote server. Okay, and the link between the server and the silicon is secure, is signed and encrypted to make sure that everything that's moving in between the hardware and the server is secure. Okay, so that's the goal at the chip design phase. Then comes your phase in between the chip manufacturing, device assembly, and onboarding. And this is where you see your server solution and your root of trust solution really work together. Okay, and how is this happening? At step one, you ensure confidentiality by making sure that all of your manufacturing related details are encrypted and signed, right? So at manufacturing stage, for example, you need certain chips to be inserted into the OTP. You need certain chips to be, certain keys to be generated by the OTP, certain keys to be injected into the system, and you want all of this to happen in a secure manner. So that's one way. The second one is also software and firmware vulnerability analysis, and making sure that the software or firmware that you want to use in your system is actually foolproof. That's another aspect. And also, you want to isolate your chip manufacturer OEM assets to protect your intellectual property. So the goal here is to make sure that one player is not able to access the information or the critical security parameters of the other player. Okay. And then we have the chip in field, okay, or in mission, what we call mission mode. And here the goal is for your chip that is on the field. For example, automotive cars, you see more and more connected devices. You see these SoC chips that are more vulnerable to attack. And the goal is to make sure that these chips are secure in the field. Okay, so how do you do it? You take care of securely starting up this device. That's a secure boot for you. You take care of tamper-free environment. And the way to do that is to embed side channel and fault injection countermeasures, and you guarantees untampered OEM application. So you take care of the software on top. Okay. That's a little bit about the in-field mission and how secure boot helps in that regard. And in terms of secure software updates, as I mentioned, this server solution takes care of the secure software updates, or what we call secure quota. And the goal is to make sure that this firmware is first vulnerable free. It is authenticated and encrypted to make sure that during transit there is nothing wrong happening with this firmware. Then you upload the firmware or software into your host, and after you authenticate, decrypt the firmware, which is the first step before the secure boot actually starts. So that's the goal of secure software updates from the server side. In terms of monitoring, as I mentioned, Secure-IC, the goal here is to show how from the server side and also from the chip, you are constantly collecting intelligence and reporting it to this remote monitoring station. You constantly try to look from both directions, right? From the silicon side as well as from the user side, what different parameters or alerts you're receiving, and accordingly take an action. You can, for example, escalate the alarm. You can delete secure keys. You can take care of managing this in-field solution, this in-field chip remotely, monitoring constantly and taking effective action after. So PCERT, as I mentioned, PCERT is a way to detect vulnerabilities real time while the device is on the field, and then work on it in terms of remediation. And you communicate the fix, or you come up with a fix back to the customer or to the end user, basically. So that's a good cycle to show you how we do it in terms of collecting different sources of vulnerability information. Then we discover this, classify this vulnerability, then we remediate it, and then we communicate at the end. And at the end of the life, what are we trying to achieve here? You want to erase all of your secret assets. Okay, so what are those? You have keys, you have certificates. You want to erase that on the silicon, and you also want to revoke all of these security information at the end of the life, in order for none of the secret to be derived from the chip. Okay, so that's the last stage in terms of what needs to be done during end of life. This is a slide detailing physical attacks and quantum computing protection. So as you know, quantum computers are coming, and they're coming fast. And the goal is to be preemptive and prepared for something that's coming very quickly. And so the suggestion from the world of security is to have secure design with PQC solutions. So post-quantum cryptography, you have a number of standards which are already standardized by NIST, ML-KEM, ML-DSA. And so we use, Secure-IC has these solutions off the shelf to help customers from the design phase to be secure, right? So this PQC solution, it's used to sign and verify your firmware. It is used for secure key transfer, etc. Okay, and also takes care of side channel and fault injection protection. So that's a little bit about securing your chips for the future generation. So this section speaks about how we speak about how secure IC solutions will help. Okay, and I've briefly described them at different levels in the previous slide. So this is a slide to show you the entire picture. Okay, we have what we call the Securizer ISSP, and the goal of Securizer ISSP is to secure your devices from chip to the cloud. So on the left, you see the chip, the integrated secure element on the SoC. And then you have your secure software that runs on the host, okay? And this host has the host agent, which is responsible for communicating with the secure server. And from the server, you're able to manage the fleet, you're able to provision your device, you're able to update firmwares, you're able to monitor your devices and make sure that you're able to respond live. So that's the goal of the Securizer ISSP solution. In terms of the chip to cloud security that I mentioned, we provide our customers with not just the hardware, but also the software that manages both the root of trust as well as the host processor. Okay, as you see, it is detailed on the right. The Securizer IC software, it takes care of everything in terms of secure boot, secure storage, secure key transfer, lifecycle management. And on the host side, there's a lot of added value because we come with a standard PSA interface. We're able to support secure protocols like OpenSSL. You're able to also do intrusion detection system. And when you're trying to manage everything from a server, this software layer becomes even more important. So that's a little bit about what we do from the software side. And this is a slide detailing the main plus points of using the Securizer server for fleet management. And we take care of secure provisioning, factory to the end of life management. We take care of calibration and recalibration. So, for example, our anti-tampering solutions can be fine-tuned on the field, okay, at both factory and in mission mode. These are what we call post-silicon embedded parameters, and we can tune these on the field to make sure that the sensors are uh, detecting as little false positives as possible. Then we have device ID and attestation, firmware updates, what we call a secure FOTA, monitoring and PSUB. So in terms of side channel attacks and fault injection attacks, Secure-IC's IPs have been designed to inherently come with side channel protection. We have specific sensors for fault injection protection. And what we do is use Secure-IC's evaluation tools, the Laborizer tools, to make sure that our own IPs are developed in a secure manner. The side channel and fault injection are vetted. And then uh, when it goes on the field, we also license this Laborizer tool to make sure that our customers can certify, can analyze their own solutions with the Secure IC SEA FIA countermeasures to make sure that you're able to reach high level of certification, that you satisfy all of your security needs. Okay, and of course, on the expert consulting side, as I said, we do evaluation as a service where some customers come with their solution to us and we can evaluate it for them. And just something that we can tell you is we've certified devices up to EAL 5 plus, common criteria EAL 5 plus, and FIPS 140-3 level 3. So the highest level of certification in the market. And in terms of PQC offering, as I said, PQC is used for secure boot, for secure firmware authentication, and it plays a very, very pivotal role in the server and lifecycle management of embedded devices. So in terms of the PQC solutions we support, as I mentioned, ML-KEM, ML-DSA, and XMSS LMS, all of these are supported by Secure-IC off the shelf. So to conclude, what are we trying to achieve? We want security by default. Okay, we want security information and updates real time. You want to manage vulnerabilities, and you want to be resilient against attacks that we know today, as well as day zero attacks. And you want your IPs to be protected. So that's how that's the need of the hour, and that's how the Securizer ISSP solution is able to take care of all of these needs that the market requires. So thank you very much for your attention, and please feel free to ask me any questions.